That thing don't never work right, man. I hope it worked right today. And I hope everybody having a blessed day or had a blessed day. You feel me? Let me see something. I don't know why, but yeah, my thing be kind of tripping, man. Once it don't give me my chat from like every place. Like it don't give me my chat from every place. Well, okay, it went to the okay that worked, but I ain't seeing it right here. That's not making no sense. Okay, bam, 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 bam. There I go. Everything, post comments, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Oh yeah, I can't even get the comments from them other ones. That's okay. It's what it is, bro. But what's up with it, y'all? Man, I came in. What's up with it? Oh, there it go. Yeah, it's working. It's working. I'm glad y'all started kind of commenting because I'm like going, bro. The comments is not working. Green buds. What's up with it, Michael? What's up with it? Just tapping in for a minute, so we can chop it up like we usually do. I don't know. I didn't have a idea what I was gonna talk about. I just basically was popping in just to, do what we do. But hold on, give me 1 second though. Let me move these around so I can have them okay, so I can see all of them together. But yeah, what's up with it, man? He say doing great. Just sat down with some shrimp fried rice and watching that medical show house. Oh, okay. I hey, not the one where they in L.A. or something. Is it the one with the black females? I just played some leafy greens myself. Oh yeah, I had to roll one up, but it's crazy, bro, because I dove in last night. And I'm mad. I'm mad because I was like, I was like when I left the live last night, I was chilling. I was chilling with my girl. You feel me? Like that's basically what I went to go do because we didn't kind of kick it all week. So Sunday night, me not having to work, I went and I kind of chilled. I went and chilled with her. And we was just basically having a drink. And I think she was kind of tipsy because when I told her I was gonna dive in, she was like, "Go ahead." I was like, "Oh shoot, okay, yeah, I'm about to dive in." Look, it's messed up because I was tipsy myself. I ain't gonna hold you. I was so tipsy, and I dove in still, and like this has never happened before with me diving in. I dove in on like 3 G's, and then like after about 30 minutes when they like started to kind of kick in, I went in, I ate. I was starving. I don't know if it was the drink or what. The tequila had me so hungry, so I made an egg McMuffin, basically an egg and sausage McMuffin with cheese. Well, that thing was smacking. I smacked it down. Soon as I smacked it down, the visuals started. I'm seeing visuals, but it's like weird because this the first time I ever just went to sleep on a dose. Like I literally went to sleep, like seeing visuals. I went to sleep seeing visuals, like straight up. Like I straight went to sleep on the visuals, and I kept waking up in the middle of the night, and my whole room was like a kaleidoscope of visuals. Like every time I woke up, like 15 minutes, I'm sitting there. My whole room is a kaleidoscope of visuals, and I'm just going, "What the heck, bro?" You feel me? And then I just kind of lay back down and go back to sleep to the point to where when I got up in the morning, I didn't really remember any of the experience. I was so burnt because I took man, I this the first time I ever even did that. I took them about it had to be about 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock or something like that. What's up with it, Mario? Been making breakfast as a midnight snack a lot lately. I know, ain't that trippy though? Like it's only some of us out there that actually just eat breakfast on the late night. You eat breakfast for dinner type shit. You feel me? Like it's not too many, but it's a lot of them that we just do that. Let's see that dream DMT and lingering juice from Sleepy be trippy. Yeah, that hey, it was wild, bro. It was wild. But what's up with it, Mario? Man, I ain't heard from you in a second, man. How you been? I hope everything been cool. But yeah, I was kind of off because I wasn't able to remember it and bring back anything. You feel me? All I remember it was like every time I woke up, my room was just, and it was dark. Like that was the cold thing about it. My whole room was just like a kaleidoscope of all kind of stuff going on, and I was just like, man. But I was like so tired that I just turned back over. You know, I looked at all the visuals, closed my eyes, still seeing visuals, and went back to sleep and started right back dreaming. It was like trippy, bro. I'm like going, dang, but I was tipsy though. And like I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that for nobody. Like if you diving in, like it's not cool to drink something before you dive in. It's not a good thing. You know, because I just had somebody do that, and they was like, they woke up, had a hangover and everything. Like me, I woke up, I was cool. Like I got up this morning, like I was straight. I didn't have no problems. My girl was sick, but I was like straight. I like was ready to go. You feel me? But I had to kind of chill, you know, take the day off and like, you know, help her out through the day because you feel me, she was throwing up since 6 o'clock, and I'm like going, dang, I'm like, I know I had more than you, but I'm like going, golly, bro. I was like, it was still trippy, but I said I'm gonna wait till this weekend, and I'm gonna have to go again. But you know, if you out there and you doing that, like, be careful on trying to consume alcohol with shrooms. It's like, it's, you know, it's like I can do it. I know how to do it, but it's not a good thing for everybody. It's not a good look. Oh, thanks for liking the live. However you say your name, but what you say, can't wait to tell you about my ayahuasca experience. Okay, where you gonna when you gonna tell it? Wow, man. And where at? Just let me know. You can do it right now if you want to. We can meet up in Discord or whatever. And Wild Man, I forgot Wild Man did go and he dove in on the ayahuasca. The ayahuasca journey, which is wild. The ayahuasca is kind of trippy. It's some trippy stuff. Don't eat hummus while you're doing shrooms. Other he said either it isn't what. That another one of your mottos? He said, no, I don't even eat hummus. I ain't gonna hold you. I never tried hummus. Like people didn't try to get me to try it. I never even tried it. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, we can. If you trying to go in Discord right now, Wild Man, y'all lucky, man. Y'all about to have an ayahuasca journey right now. If Wild Man is talking about people is already in here. Matter of fact, let me show the Discord to y'all. I'm gonna put the Discord up instead of having my photo up. You know I'm old and handsome, but at the same time, you feel me? Let me put the Discord up, cause he about to pop in the Discord and come in and tell his ayahuasca journey. If y'all remember, Wild Man is, you know, he's another one of the distant travelers. Another one of the distance travelers that be traveling. You know, he ayahuasca. He did the 5-MeO already. I think he didn't dove in on every one already, if you think about it. But this is about to be an ayahuasca journey, so I hope y'all ready for this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to type it into the video so I don't forget it, because that's what I'll be doing a lot of times. Like I'll go and we'll record and do the video and everything, and then like I'll forget what we even talked about, because you know I get into doing so many lives at times. I forget that video was about that, so I got to make sure I go back and do that. He said peanut butter, less peanut butter is hummus. LOL. Peanut butter, don't say that, man. Peanut butter is not hummus. Peanut butter is peanut butter. Hummus look like peanut butter, though. I ain't gonna hold you. What's up with it, Khan? Khan Milan, the chosen one. What's up with it, Wild Man? What's up with it, Sun Tzu? Okay, yeah. Hold on, Wild Man. Let me. Okay,
late
yeah.
night.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh no, yeah. We hear you clearly. I'm just trying to set it up so you know everybody can see you clearly, and then you can like have the floor, the flizzoe. Oh yeah, you good though. You good. You good. You good. Wow, man.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we hear you clear. Y'all hear him clear out there or what?
Right.
Yeah, I think they hear you.
Sweet.
Oh
Well,
dang, don't lose connection, man.
uh, let's see. Make sure. Let's make sure I can hear you guys and you can hear me.
Okay, yeah we hear you. I got you pretty loud too, so
All right. Cool. Well, let's see. I'll begin by saying that it's been 10 years since I set my intentions to do ayahuasca, and I believe the way the universe works and the way the magic works is like it happens when you're ready. It happens when it calls for you. And 10 years ago, for some reason, the universe just wouldn't let me. Because I tried to join a group that was going to go to Costa Rica, and it got canceled.
yeah.
And I ended up having a baby, meeting a woman, having a baby, and who's now 8 years old. And then between 10 years ago and now, I feel like the universe has been preparing me. And I relate it like a martial arts. Like I went from white belt to black belt, and I just to had to learn what cannabis taught me. I had to learn what mushrooms would teach me. I had to dive in on salvia, LSD, 2CB, ketamine, 5-MeO
Yeah,
DMT,
five
and
MBO.
smoking the NN-DMT, and finally getting my chance to do the actual ceremony, drinking the brew, the ayahuasca,
Thanks.
and I finally
Here.
did it just this last weekend.
Mm.
Finally happened.
What you?
You still hear
It's
me?
yeah. I hear you. Like it kind of seems like you set yourself on this path and you set yourself up to get to these experiences as you went, as you was going along. It's like happened in steps or stages.
Yes.
Like that's for me on the outside
And
looking in.
yeah, that's 100% right. And a lot of the reasons for that is because when I got out of the Marine Corps in 2008, I had a lot of trauma, and I just wasn't ready to ascend. I needed to heal this trauma, and I had to go through a certain amount of steps to get there. Uh, and ayahuasca is such a strong medicine that I don't think I would have been ready for it 10 years ago. It would have just it probably would have sent me. It probably would have made me go crazy. I probably would have gone psychotic or something, killed myself or something. But because I was just really in a dark place back in those days. So little by little, using these plant medicines, from cannabis to mushrooms to the 5-MeO DMT to salvia, like it all added up to my healing and preparing my mind and my body, my soul for the big trip.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking a lot about why that is, and I'm 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 thinking about like my purpose and what it relates to me. I was on American Ninja Warrior and being a veteran, and I'm real connected with the military, the veterans, and and there's a lot of veterans who are needing help right now, and there's so many of us that are killing themselves.
It's
Over
it's
20,
it's
22.
it's crazy because remember when we did that whole video about you telling us about your journey in the veterans. I never uploaded it because I don't know, I like out of fear because it was so dramatic. It was like golly, like I couldn't believe that you went through all that. Like you would think that you going into the military, they're gonna take care of me.
Yeah,
And it
it's the
was
opposite.
like, yeah, the total opposite, bro. But My
Yeah,
bad.
that's what I had to learn. I had to learn that the hard way because I tried really hard to get help, and the VA to this day is just is just making things way more difficult. I've literally had so many obstacles, and every time going to the VA, just it's done the opposite. It's only re-traumatized me. I literally
Thanks for
was
the
put into
donations
the
on TikTok.
was literally put in the suicide ward, and instead of getting help from psychologists, they just treated me like a mental patient, and like a prisoner, and they
Yeah.
drugged me against my will. They gave me drugs that I didn't even know that what they were, and I was out of it. I was in a wheelchair, just rolling around, drooling in a crazy house, like getting nothing, getting no help.
But your
And
mom saved you.
uh, my mom saved me,
Came and got you.
and yeah, she came and got me out of that place. That was back in 2014, 10 years ago.
So,
So I
can I
I
ask you
I just said
something?
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, how did you prepare yourself going into this ayahuasca experience? What did you do to prepare yourself to get ready to have that experience?
Great, exactly. It's a great place to start from there because that's when the commitment. That's when I was ready. Is the diet, the ayahuasca? When you do your research, it has and there's a dieta, la dieta. You have to do this. People who do not do the dieta, don't take it seriously, they find out real quick the hard way, the hard lessons that you're gonna be shitting yourself, you're gonna be vomiting, and you're not gonna have a pretty time. And I saw a lot of that this weekend. There were people who just for whatever reason, everyone's on their own journey, and we get the lessons as they come to us when they come to us, and wherever stage you are and whatever you need to hear, it happens exactly the way it has to happen for you. And luckily I did enough research and I've been through enough the last 10 years to know to take
Yeah.
this seriously. So when I finally gave up the alcohol on Father's Day on June 17th, just a few months ago, I said I got to stop drinking. And like we were just talking about mushrooms and drinking, and I used to
Yeah.
think myself, yeah, I could do it, I could do that, I'd done that, but it wasn't proper for ceremony. It wasn't proper to really receive the message that the medicine can give you. That yeah, you can be drunk and go into ceremony, and you can eat mushrooms, but I think you're gonna miss the mark. It's gonna divert you. You're gonna get visuals. You're gonna have a good experience, maybe negative experience. Some things good, some things bad, but it's not gonna give you the full. You're not gonna go. You're not gonna get the deeper lesson. That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
That committing to the diet is really important, and it's about respect too, because this is what's happening. You don't go into ceremony. You don't just. It's not the Terrence McKenna method, 5 grams in silent darkness alone. This is going in with a group of facilitators who are called to this. The medicine calls them and teaches them and helps them and gives them the ability and the power to hold the space for the ceremony. And there's so much that goes into ceremony. There's so much prayer. There's burning of the copal. There's sage. There's lavender. There's blessing the 4 directions, the 4 winds. The place I went to is called the Temple of the 4 Winds, and
Wait,
we did the
where
ceremony.
was it at?
It was in Mount Shasta,
Oh, okay,
and it
yeah,
was
Mount
out.
Shasta.
It was outside in the forest, underneath the mountain, on sacred holy ground, and I'm so grateful we have that here in California, because otherwise we would have to go all the way to Costa Rica or all the way to Peru just to get from the legit shamans, the maestros. They
Yeah.
know how to do it, and they have the place and the sacred places that can still do these practices. And there's luckily there's this is getting more and more. The healing is coming. It's coming our way, and there are places that are popping up more and more. And the ayahuasca is coming for us. We've been needing it, and it's coming, because this is the thing: the water, the fire, the earth, the air is all demanding our respect right now. It's done with us dilly dallying and just fucking playing with these medicines like they're toys. It's done with us going to raves and blowing our heads off with the psychedelics, just having fun, looking at lights and visuals. It's done with that. It's demanding respect now.
Yeah, and at the raves they be doing. Oh my god, yeah, they be doing a
Yeah,
lot. But
I mean, go to Burning Man, do all that, but
all
yeah,
in all, like the experience, like you must have
yeah,
seen a lot because you talking different right now.
yes. There is something that's changed in me. There was so I did not realize just how this is gonna get real deep here because I've been through a lot of ups and downs, but I've been missing the mark. I thought it was it's really it comes down to ego, and it comes down to like I thought I thought I was pretty good on my ego. I thought I had it under check, but there's still times where I would lie, I would cheat, I would steal, I would be
Mm,
drinking on the job. I just do my own thing and not give a fuck. Like fuck the
yeah,
world, I'm doing me. I had to give me up. I had to give me up. I was doing it all wrong. And I could see the only way I clearly I got that. That's one of the messages I got. But I'll go back into the story of I got to the mountain, I did the dieta, no alcohol, no more cannabis. I had to stop smoking cannabis on August 1st. I stopped, and I went on no sugar, no salt, no processed foods, no junk food. All of these things that I learned and researched, I did, and I was strict. And I said, I'm going for it, and I cannot fuck this up. I've been waiting too long to do this right, and I need to do this right. So I did, and I'm very proud of myself for doing that because it was hard. It was really hard to put down the bottle, man.
yeah,
And cannabis, I love it so much, and I don't plan on it's not a quitting thing. It's about taking a fucking break and giving the respect to the medicine to do this because I can't wait to be smoking again. But dieta also goes after ceremony because the medicine is still working in me for
yeah.
weeks and weeks, and I don't even know when I'm going to be allowed to smoke weed again. It's going to tell me. It's in me, and I can feel her, and she tells me now.
Michael
Mother
said.
ayahuasca
Michael said,
is
"Thanks for
with
the
me.
insight."
Yes, sir. Yes, it's my service. It's my duty. It's my calling. Now I've given myself to God. This is as close to a Jesus experience as and I can I have a real problem with that because I have a paranoia about religion and people and always preaching Jesus to me and stuff like that, and I get yeah, I get it, but I know I trust God. I don't need to profess and proclaim to Buddha or Jesus or something. And when I got to ceremony, they said, "Do not bring that here. That is not. You can bring don't you bring your little Buddha dolls and your deities." Said, "No, you're not here to call on them. You are here to call on ayahuasca."
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I said, "Okay, I get that." I said, "Good," and I understand. And out of respect for the maestro, the facilitator, and his family, I listened to every word and did exactly to the T what they told us to do. And in preparation, we had a group text message going on for weeks before saying, "Hey, make sure y'all in the diet. Hey, this is where we're meeting at. Hey, hope y'all, we're checking in on each other, making sure we're doing good." There's going to be 33 people, or that's the max they're allowing to be in the ceremony. They said, and I got everything prepared. Then when it finally came time to drive up, everything started aligning. All the synchronicity started happening. The magic started happening immediately. All the cookies or just the dominoes falling into place. My work, I got time off of work. My family, I got time off from my family. I had enough money to do it. It just all started falling into place, and little things would see like memes on the internet, videos, just things I'd overhear. Something I'd see would just make sense and click as a synchronicity, and going, "Yeah, I'm on the right path," and it's showing itself very, very obviously that, hey, keep it up. It's coming. It's
Yeah,
like surfing, and I see a big wave, and it's like start paddling. So I drove up 6 hours from Santa Cruz to Mount Shasta. I found the campsite. I got there a day early just to get there and be in touch with the mountain. be a tourist, to go explore and get in with the energy of the mountain. And Mount Shasta is beautiful. I had no idea it was such a spiritual place, but it is. There's so many healers there, crystal people, people selling crystals and doing Reiki and energy work. And it's like, wow, I didn't know there was this much spirituality up there. It's a sacred, holy place, and there's a lot of magic up there.
Yeah.
And at the same time, there's like yoga retreats and grounding retreats and breathwork retreats, and they're all happening at the same time. And I was in the store buying a watermelon, and I would just be talking to people going, hi, I'm here for ayahuasca. And they're like, oh, really? Wow, I heard about that. I'm here for a yoga retreat. And I'm like, wow, oh, cool. It's like everyone was up there to heal. Everyone was up there on a journey. They were on a mission. They were on a spiritual quest. And my specific quest was the ayahuasca. And it was like, this is so exciting. So I camped out the night before, and I brought my camping gear, a tent, and a couple sleeping bags, and just a couple blankets, and my sweatpants and a sweatshirt. And I did not realize how underprepared I was, because that night it started raining.
Oh wow.
And the lightning was going off, and I was sitting in my tent, and I thought I was gonna be good, but the rain came through my tent, and I was in a puddle, and I was freezing cold. So I had to go through the dark night of the soul right there. Like,
Oh, so you didn't wait? How come you just didn't sleep in your car?
I thought about it, but I was like, I deserve this.
Yeah.
I deserved it. I was like, this. This is part of it. I knew it was part of the cleansing. The rain was part of the water was doing its thing.
That's Wild Man. That's Wild Man Ninja.
I'm a wild man for a reason,
Yeah, Rob said the family is proud of you. Wow, man.
Thanks, Rob. Love you, brother. I went up to the mountain, and I took my didgeridoo, and I just prayed, and I blessed the surround. I built a rock, and I made prayers, and I played my didgeridoo, and I just prayed, and gave my thanks for being there, and I'm like, I'm ready. I went down the mountain, and I met the actual campsite, and I checked into the place where we're going, and I found them, and I started meeting everyone who was there. We all started setting up our camp. I met the facilitator, and his family was there. There was kids there, little dogs. It was so fun. It was just a big camp out, and we all met up in a big circle. And I immediately was like, I need to I need to be part of this and not just be like the silent guy. I'm like, I'm ready. How do I help? How do I be of service? I brought gifts. I placed. There was an altar for a man who was the facilitator's brother, and he was also an ayahuasca facilitator, and he died just a weeks ago. And to honor his spirit and to honor one last ceremony with his brother, we built an altar, and I brought a bunch of gifts, sage and Palo Santo and mushrooms and cannabis and paintings and all sorts of trinkets, and I put them on the altar. And we prayed to him, and we gave him thanks and asked for his blessing for this ceremony, and knowing that his spirit would be with us. And the family, we had brought up all this food and watermelons and water and all this gear just to have us, for after ceremony. And then we built a fire pit, and I went into the woods and grabbed a bunch of firewood and was just making fires. And we all sat around the campfire, and we started introducing with each other. So we met everyone, went around the circle one by one, giving each other's names, and we stated our intentions of what we're here for. And then that first night, it was Friday night, we started with a hape ceremony, the rape, the tobacco snuff that get blown up your nose.
Yeah, I seen you do that here before.
Yes, so I've been using hape. I've been learning about it and using it, and trying to figure it out, and then knowing now this is the ceremonial rape, which is a final purge and cleanse before you go into ceremony. So we all, after giving each other's introductions and giving our intentions, and my intention was, I'm here to learn, I'm here to heal, and I'm here to experience this finally. And so then he goes in, so the man facilitator, he went around doing the men, and his wife did the women. So it was the males.
Oh yeah, that's
males,
cool.
women, so the females, yeah. So he went around with this big tepe, and I was the second in line. So I got through second. I look over, and I see this kid he's a younger kid than me, and I'm like looking at him, and I watch him get it shoved up his nose, and all this powder just all over. It was they gave us so much. It was amazing. So I was like, oh man, this is like not just a little bit. Like when I gave it to myself, I would take a little bit and blow it up my nose. This, he was like scooping big scoops of tobacco powder and just right up the nose, like whoa.
Wow.
So when it came to my turn, yep, one in each nostril, just and it hit me so fucking hard. I had to sit down, and I got so nauseous. I felt absolutely horrible. Like I was like, this is not good. Like I don't feel good at all. Like it immediately tested my will. It's like, are you sure you want this? Like it's like ayahuasca going, you sure you want this? Are you sure about that? And I'm like doubting myself. Maybe I'm not strong enough for this. If this is this bad, I don't even know, because I know the ayahuasca is going to be worse. If this is this bad, like maybe I'm not ready. And I'm like, just going through those thoughts and having them, allowing myself to process them, and having those weak moments, because those are the moments that you're purging. It's not true. You're feeling those things, and those are the feelings I would normally run from and grab a bottle of alcohol or smoke a joint. But this time it's like, no, you're feeling this, and accept this pain that you're feeling, and this nausea, and this is now needs to go. So it starts to go. It starts to merge down into my belly. It was like a warm sensation through my limbs and in my head, just real, like a headache, like a real bad headache. And I was gazing at the fire, and then I couldn't. I had to close my eyes, and then I could just hear people going like spitting, and some people were vomiting, and then some people were like getting up and walking to the fire and standing at the fire and holding space. And then and I could hear them going around, and when they finally finished, the facilitator said, okay, when you're feeling like you can do it, go back to your tents, and we'll see you in the morning. I was like, okay. All right. So I was like, I need another 15 minutes by the fire. And I sat there until I finally was able to stand up. And then I still was like, I can't even feel like going back to the tent. I need to go to my car. So my car became my turtle shell. I went into my turtle shell, and I blasted the heater, and I just sat in there warming myself up, because it was also freaking cold. Yeah. And luckily, since I had that night of practice the night before I went to the actual ceremony, I went into town and I bought myself some more clothes, some warming thermals. Yeah. Thank God I did that.
I was gonna say that. Thank God.
Yeah. So I got proper clothes, and I wore all of them. I had layers and layers of my jackets and thermals and a rain jacket on top of it all, and that kept me alive. But I was still freezing. So whatever it was that was like, I don't know, just needing to be cold, and the weather being the weather, it was just the magic is there for whatever reason it was there, and I'm still getting downloads. I'm still getting like clicks, and still having understandings and realizations. Back to this that night when I finally was done in my car. I went to my tent, and I got in my sleeping bag, and I'm like, I can't wait for this fucking nausea to go away. Please let me sleep. And I just started praying, please don't rain on us tomorrow. And I started praying, like, it's so cold. Can we please have sun tomorrow? And it just started raining all night. And again, I thought, and then my tent, I realized my tent cover, I had put it on crooked the night before, and I thought, okay, I'll fix it. And I put it on the right way. Nope, it's still soaked right through. And I woke up in a puddle, and at 3 a.m, just like, fuck. Oh, and we turned our cell phones in that night, so I didn't have a cell phone. The only way I knew what time it was because I got up and had to go to my car, and I could check on my phone or check on the time on my little clock.
Yeah, on the radio.
Yeah, so I saw what time it was, and I'm like, damn, I'm not sleeping tonight, And so I had to get in my car and warm up at 4 a.m. Just like, well, I guess I didn't sleep, but at least it is what it is, and I had to do my best just to get through that night and warm up in my car. And that morning I warmed up, and then when they started calling, I looked around, and everyone's getting up and getting out of their tents, and everyone's moseying over to the fire. And then all of a sudden it was like, everyone to the fire pit. And we got around the fire. And he said, all right, this is it. Everyone get in your ceremony garb. You need to get in your clothes. We're going to grab your water bottles and anything you need for the ceremony that we needed help with to bring down. We're going to get a wagon train, and we had to walk 10 to 15 minutes into the forest to another spot. So they wanted us to wear white clothes. So I had a white shirt and white pants. And then I also brought my rain jacket, a spare jacket, and 2 yoga mats, a towel, and an entire roll of napkins. And then I just followed the wagon train down, and I was chit-chatting with the people, having like that nervous laughter, like, oh my God, we're like, and when this girl that I'm talking to, she's like, I feel like we're going to Hogwarts and this is Harry Potter and it's for real. And I'm like, I feel the same way. And was like telling her I read all the books, and we were like, this is crazy. And oh my God, it was so fun because there were so many. And this one guy came up to us. He's like, here, do you want a crystal? I'm like, yeah, yes, please. He gave me this little tiny crystal, and it was so fun. Everyone was really in like excited, nervous energy.
Yeah.
And we get to the clearing, and it's a fire pit. It's like a big open clearing and surrounded by forest. And then we look up, and there's the mountain, Mount Shasta, just in all of its glory. Just wow. And the night before, it was all that rain. It had snowed on the mountain, so it was covered in snow. And
Nice.
and the sunshine was showing us the mountain. And just as we got there and we're gazing at it, the clouds start coming over it. So it gave us a little glimpse, but then it covered us up, and it was like nature saying, it's time, we're going in. It gave us a cover, and it was like a layer of protection over our sacred space. So the facilitator started setting up, burning the copal, setting up the incense, getting the fire. And there was a lot of helpers. This one woman, her name was Marta, and she only spoke Spanish, and she had full maestra gear on, a red bandana, a red tie, and a beautiful like Aztec-looking clothing, Mexican garb, and earrings, and just she was beautiful. Damn. And then another man was there facilitating, had a beard like mine. His name was Ro, and he's there saying. He was there just saying, I've been called to the medicine to help. I'm not a professional. I'm not a shaman. He's just there to help the main guy, the real facilitator. His name was Waldo, and Waldo was the lead charge man. He was the man.
Yeah. Where's Waldo?
Whatever he said was like, all right, we're doing it. And he's like, and so sitting down, I'm like, when we got down there, I'm like, where do I sit? We had to be in a circle. He's like, everyone get your spaces. And I'm like, where do I sit? And I'm like, obviously I'm gonna feel it. So I look around and I see there's like it's all flat except for this one spot. There's like a little divot in the ground, and I'm like, get there. There's a little piece of wood that's like with a little hole in it, and it was stuck in like a stake. And it was just poking up like a wizard staff, looking right at me, going, and I'm just like, yep, there you are.
There you go.
That's my spot. I go over and I pick the little thing up, and I'm just like, thank you, piece of little wood. And I cleared the spot out, and I lay my yoga mats down, and I sit down, and I'm ready. And we're listening to the instructions while they're still setting up burning the incense. And then Waldo's going, okay, she's going to go around and burn sage and bless you and smudge you. And so she did that. She came around, and every single one of us got the sage blown on us. And then they went around and gave us a handful of lavender. Everyone got a little scoop in their hand, and you state your intentions, and then you go and you throw it in the fire. And so I did that, took my intentions, and I threw it in the fire. And they go back to my spot, and they handed us this little tiny red cup, a little plastic red cup, like a shot glass, just that size. And I was like wondering, I had no idea. I was like, I wonder how much is it going to be, like how much ayahuasca we drink? Like, dude, how much? I never even thought about, like, how much is it? Is it like a big cup, or it was a little tiny cup, a shot glass?
A little shot glass. That mean it was strong.
So, oh yes, and the facilitator was like, Martha just had the ceremony last week, and she said that this is some of the strongest medicine she's ever had. So you guys are in for it. And I was like, we were all like, oh no.
Yeah.
And he's like, anyone have any questions? And I'm like, how do we know if we're gonna want a second cup or third cup? And he was basically like, you'll know, and if you can sit up, if you can sit up, that's basically it. If you have the strength to sit, it's like, that means you can get another cup. And then I watched him prepare the ayahuasca. I was so like such a tourist about it. I was watching him put it in this boiling cup of a big pot, and he was putting all the sludge in this pot and mixing it and brewing it and blowing mapacho and blowing and smoking this big thick cigar of mapacho tobacco and just blowing on it. And
wow.
And then he went around and poured it in our glasses and told us to hold it to our hearts, and we wait because we're all gonna drink together.
Was it warm?
So it was warm, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, finally I get to taste it. Everyone's like, oh, it tastes so bad. I'm like, I'm smelling it. Well, I was like, wow, okay, it just like smells like tea, and it just looks like mud. It looks like chocolate milk.
Some thick chocolate milk.
Yeah. So I'm holding it against my heart, and I'm sitting like in cross-legged meditation pose, and I'm just like meditating, and then we're listening to more instructions. And he's telling us, you will keep your eyes closed during the whole ceremony. You can open your eyes if you got to get up to go pee, but don't look around. Don't look at other people. Be respectful.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And he says, yeah, and he says, whatever if you feel like you got to get up and go to the bathroom in the forest, you got to raise your hand and you ask for permission. Nobody gets up out of the circle without fucking a facilitator helping you. And it's like, wow, this guy's really strict, and I'm loving this right now because it's just like he's giving us the plan, and I'm so good at, like, I'm the Marine. I'm like, yes, sir. I love directions.
Yeah.
So
yes, sir.
So finally, it's like, finally it's ready. I'm like, this is go time. I've got my intentions, and I'm like, please, Mother Ayahuasca, help me. This is where I was like, help me heal. Help me reconnect with my soul at all costs. Show me what I've become. And I think that's all it was. It was basically that. And it was like, okay, drink. Woo! And I'm like making sure not to just chug it. I'm like swishing it in my mouth, tasting it, going, all right, this is it. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's not bad. This is great. It tastes like tea. It tastes like tea. It's a real thick, dark tea. That's all. So and then he says, and make sure that you drink all of it. And if you need to put a little water in your cup, swirl it around, drink it. And so I'm like, okay. And I look, and there's a little sludge at the bottom. I'm like, okay, and I poured some water in it from my water bottle, drank it, and I kept on doing that. And he says, but don't drink too much water because it tends to sit in your stomach real heavy, and it can make your stomach a little upset. So I was like, just making sure I'd use a little bit of water, and I drank, and then and I sat there in my pose, in my Buddha pose, just like meditating, eyes closed, breathing. And immediately I'm like, this is it. All the training I've ever done, all the meditation, all the breath work, this is it. There's no turning back. It's in my belly. Let's go. So I start doing my breath work. And he says, I'm gonna go around in about 45 minutes to an hour, and I'll be handing out the second cups to anybody who wants a second cup. Sure enough, an hour goes by, and I'm not feeling nothing. I'm like, well, second cup, please. And I hold my cup up, and he goes around, and it's up to him to how he feels and the medicine and how, because he drinks the cup too. So they're on the medicine too, all the facilitators.
Damn.
And they're going around beating drums and having rattles, and they're blowing mapacho, and they're going around to us doing that to all of us. And I have my eyes closed, and I can only hear them doing it. And then they're singing. They're taking turns singing, and the songs are. It's not beautiful. It's just them. They're not like beautiful opera singers. He's literally just singing the best he can. And just like his voice is cracking, and he's not he's not like a professional singer. But he's singing his song. And it's just like, return to love, return to your strength, remember who you are, find your light. It's like stuff like that. And then at some point he had like a music thing that he played. They played like they had a radio thing that they had brought with like a specific playlist with a specific set of songs, and they did play that, and it was beautiful. And I remember hearing only a couple of them. But so what happens to the second cup, he comes around, and I'm wondering, am I going to get a second cup? And he only pours me half. I'm like, okay. Half a cup it is. So I drank the half a cup, and I go back right into my meditation, and I'm doing some like belly movements. I'm doing like leaning to my left side. And he said, yeah, if you lay to your left side, it helps digestion. I'm like laying to my left side. And I'm like figuring I should do both sides. So I'm laying to my right side. And I'm really wondering, when am I going to start feeling this? So I think another 45 minutes, almost maybe an hour. It didn't hit me for 2 hours, I'd say.
Dang, that's a minute. And you was on an empty
time.
stomach and everything already?
Yeah. All fasted,
Okay, yeah.
empty stomach. Yep. And then this is the part I kind of don't remember. I don't really remember when it started kicking in. I just know that it happened. It happened. And the next thing I know, I'm on the ground in the fetal position. And I am hurting. Not like physically, not my tummy's hurting, not the nauseous, not a headache. I'm starting to have these emotions that are real bad. I'm talking dark thoughts, like guilt, shame, horrible trauma starts coming back to me, like memories, but not like you think about, oh yeah, I remember when I got it. It's the actual trauma itself is happening again.
Yeah, again.
And it's horrible. I literally was crying, sobbing, hard crying, and guttural animal. Coming out of me, and my breath is just like, and tears, snot. I'm grabbing my napkins, and I'm blowing my nose, and I'm just like, oh God. And before we had to dig a pit next to us, a little hole in the ground. And he said, that's for everyone to purge. Everyone dig a hole next to you. And so people, I could hear them, and they're just vomiting next to you, just right into their holes next to them. And I'm like, oh fuck, I drank a bunch of water. I have to pee. This is not bad timing. But I remember I raised my hand, and the facilitator, and he comes over to me. He's like, hey, what you need? I'm like, I just have to pee. He says, all right. So I get up, and that there's like a moment of reprieve, and I'm like, I get up and I run to the I bolt like a lightning bolt over to this tree and just pee. And I open my eyes to look at the ground to see if, like, I don't want to open my eyes, but I needed to like open my eyes for a minute to see where I was for a second. And I asked myself, This will be interesting because I'm wondering if I'm tripping. I'm wondering if I'm going to start having visual.
Yeah.
No visual. None. It's just normal. So I pee, and then I close my eyes, or I run back, and I'm like keeping my head down and making sure not to look at anyone, not to be disrespectful. And I close my eyes and I get back in the fetal position, and I put my jacket back on, and I'm freezing cold. I'm freezing. But for some reason, I ripped my shoes off. Because I needed to feel the ground. I needed to ground myself. I needed to get into the earth, and I had to rip my shoes off. So I pound, and I'm rubbing the dirt on my feet on the ground, and I'm like just trying to do whatever I can, but I'm like I can't. I'm like it's too painful, and I lean over and I'm just back in the fetal position, crying and screaming, and I can hear the shaman going around. I hear Waldo. No, he's not a shaman. He's not a. He's just a dude.
Yeah.
He's
just the dude.
He's someone who's been called to this. He's just a man who's been called by the medicine to do this, and for good reason, because he was amazing. He has the strength. He has the light, and he's yelling at us, "Find your light. This is the time. Go into the dark. Find your strength." And I'm just like, I can't do this. This is too hard. And I'm punching the ground, just like, stop this. Please stop. And I found myself begging for it to be over. And I'm like, I knew it wasn't going to be over though. So,
yeah, so.
But I couldn't help myself. So I grab my jacket and I throw it over my head, and I'm just full turtle shell now, just covering myself up. And I hear people laughing, and I'm like, fuck. Like, the guy literally right next to me is laughing hysterically. He's having a great trip, and I am having the worst time ever. And I'm like getting really mad at him, going, "Don't you laugh at this pain? Don't laugh at this. This is horrible." So I had to be respectful, not to react on those thoughts and feelings. I had to literally cover my head and squeeze my ears and squeeze my eyes, and so I couldn't hear anything, even the music. That's why I don't remember some of the music, because I couldn't hear it. I had to block my ears out, so I covered my ears and squeezed my ears so tight that I couldn't hear anything. And that's when I started seeing visuals. This was the fun part, because I did like to see them. The same amazing visuals that you get when you smoke NNDMT, they were all of a sudden there. And I was just like, oh good, this is nice. And there were swirling, beautiful blue vortexes of energy, vortexing sideways and through and around my eyes, and they were like morphing, like when you see people dripping those oil droplets onto the water, and they go and they merge and they start puddling out.
Yeah.
These beautiful like circular pools, and it was blue and electric and light blue, and some of them started forming into eagles, like Native American eagles, full on like art, gorgeous artwork. And this eagle shape showed me, and that I now know in hindsight was the spirit of the man that had died before, that set the altar up. His name was Cisco.
Yeah.
And so I knew it was Cisco, and I was just like, wow. Or I didn't know it, but now I know it. But I saw the eagle spirit, and yeah. So I'm seeing these things, but then ayahuasca's like, hey, surfer boy, like literally like.
What the heck?
You're a surfer. You better get ready. Next wave is coming, bitch.
Oh, wow. It said like you can hear it's saying that in words.
No, I could feel it. It was more of a telepathic understanding. It was like, get ready for the next wave, surfer boy. Like serious. Like a strict fucking get ready. Next wave's coming. And I was like, fuck. And I go right back to fetal position, screaming and crying. and I find myself back in my mother's womb.
Oh
Whoa.
my God.
And here's some backstory. My mother, I was the second child, and she had my sister, it was a cesarean birth where they cut her tummy open and pull you out of the stomach
Yeah.
instead of being pushed out vaginally naturally. And so when it came to me being born, the rules back in the day, the doctor said once a cesarean, always a cesarean. They didn't let my mother even try to give birth to me normally. They didn't even allow me to be in the gestation period for long enough to grow and develop as a full baby. They just said, no, on this date, January 30th, your appointment time, ma'am, is to have the cesarean. You're going to get, you're going to have this operation. And they just put her to sleep and cut me and ripped me out of my mother's womb, mother's belly.
Yeah, instead of letting her go to her water burst.
Yes. And my mother is traumatized from this experience, and she tells me she always tells me my birthday story every year on my birthday, and it's like, when you were a baby and they rolled me out of the surgery and I was awake and they brought you into me, you were this tiny little 6-pound baby and you were all blue. You were blue. You weren't ready yet. You hadn't developed all the way. Your whole skin, all my skin was blue. And so that's why I had a traumatic birth, and I was reliving it. So I'm in my mother's womb, and I'm like screaming, like this is horrible being in here. Or it's the feeling of being ripped away from the womb, and I was just like, it's like, I can't handle this pain. Stop. It's too much, but it wouldn't stop. And I just begged and begged and cried like a baby again. Please stop. And it wouldn't stop until I don't. So I covered myself up and in my blanket, and I could feel the facilitator coming to me, and she starts pouring my jacket on my feet, because she could see me like struggling, like, oh my God, I'm so cold and I'm shivering. So she covers my feet up, and I'm just like, thank you. And she lifts up my jacket and just goes and blows up the vodka right in my fucking face. Thank you. And I needed that. And so I got the poncho in my face, and I'm just sitting under there, and I'm thinking like I'm like the mountain. I'm like ice cold. I'm in this little mountain pose under. I feel like a volcano about to erupt, and I had this horrible like paranoid feeling like, if I erupt, the mountain will erupt and we'll all die.
Oh wow!
I don't know why, but I had that paranoid thought for a second, like a split second. And I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I just had those thoughts. And so that was just the purging. It was like purging those thoughts out. And so then I'm sitting up, and I'm just breathing, and I'm breathing, and I'm like, I look like a fucking like someone who's just sitting on the curb, drunk outside the bar, who's just hammered, who can't go home, and my hair's all smeared over. And he's like, whoever wants the third cup, get ready. And I'm like, should I do it?
Oh wow!
I sit up and I'm like, well, I'm sitting up, but then I'm like, but do I really want? So I'm like turning the cup in my hand, like flipping it up, flipping it up, flipping it up, flipping it up, turning it up, turning it down, turning it up, turning it down, and I'm going, I'm here for fucking work. I'm here for.
Hey, your microphone is loud, Justin.
Oh, my bad.
So, thanks, Shasta. So I go, I am here. This is what I'm here for. I suck it up, and I'm like, I find the strength in me to go. I put my hand out. I close my eyes, and I just feel like and the magic, happens. The facilitator comes over, and he stumbled. I literally could hear him trip and then splurt like splash and spill the ayahuasca, and only a little bit fell into my cup, and the rest of it fell like in front of me on the ground, and some of it like on my yoga mat.
Yeah.
And I kind of look under my eyes and look down and see what just happened, and I'm like, oh no, the precious medicine. And like, should I Zamboni this? Like, should I, put my face down and suck it? Like, what do I do? And I was like, is he gonna be mad at me like for spilling his medicine? And I'm like, and immediately he's like, no, don't worry, everything happens for a reason. The medicine is doing. That was all the medicine.
Yeah.
It knows what it's doing. That happened for magical reasons, and so I didn't want to feel disrespectful to the ayahuasca, so I actually put my hands on the medicine and rubbed it into the dirt and gave it back to Mother Earth, and prayed and put my hand down and said, thank you, Mother Earth, thank you. And then I had that little bit in the shot glass, and I'm just like, it was just like a centimeter, like a little millimeter, and I was like, all right, drank that, poured some water on it, swirled it up, drank it, poured some water on it, drank that, put it down, and I'm just like, here we fucking go.
Really?
And so I'm just listening to I'm like, this is it. Like, I gotta get something. I gotta get through this. And I'm like closing my eyes and I'm doing more breath work, and I can hear them. And I'm listening to the songs, and I'm listening to the maestro or the Waldo singing. And then Martha goes around and she's blowing mapacho, and this is my next amazing visual. Eyes are closed, and I'm sitting upright, and I see, you're going to love this, a hummingbird, and it flies up, and I can hear it buzzing too. It's like flies right up into my face. Just little wings. And the eyeballs look like really big circles, but then in the eyeballs is like more little eyeballs and little eyeballs and little eyeballs, thousands of eyeballs. And the wings are stretched off, and they're covered in little eyeballs, like eyeballs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am literally looking at a spirit right now, a hummingbird spirit. An angel is looking at me right now, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, wow. And then it's like, and then like, see ya, and it just flew away.
Whoa. Whoa.
I was like, wow. So it's so beautiful. There's like yellows and reds and greens, and then the eyeballs and the fluttering of the wings is so amazing to see the hummingbird. So that then I could hear birds start chirping. I could hear a crow. I could hear like some kind of other bird, and there was birds around us, and they were the real birds, not tripping, in the trees, and they were singing. I could hear them, and it was amazing. And I was like, "That's a good sign." I'm like, "That's a good sign." And it gave me like the intuition saying that means the ceremony is about 75% done. We're almost there.
What?
And it's actually done for some people. And I could hear people actually being done. They were just, but the facilitator said, please hold space for the people who are not done yet. Keep your eyes closed. There are still people in ceremony.
Yeah, still in there.
And I'm like thinking, I'm thinking he's just talking about me. It's got to be me. But then sure enough, I could hear a couple other people next to me, and they were still. This one guy is screaming into the woods, laughing and yelling. Not like pain. He's just laughing and yelling at the woods. Just. I was like, wow. So I go back into my turtle shell, like on my like a child's pose, on my knees and my head down and covered up, and I'm praying with my hands in the dirt. And then my knees slide out from underneath me until I'm full prone, like face on the mat, nose squished into the yoga mat, and just snot, just like a big pool of snot. My face is all in it. And I'm reaching around in my pockets, and I'm grabbing all my napkins, and I'm just trying to, oh God. And I'm trying to clean myself up as I go, and I'm just trying, and I'm still spitting, and my nose is still running. And and I'm just like, well, I didn't shit myself, and I'm not puking, but all this snot and all this stupid.
That's the purging.
Yeah, and I'm like, thank God I brought a whole roll of napkins because
Yeah.
I used every
I would have put a diaper on.
one of them. What was that?
I said I would have put me a diaper on before I would have started because I probably would have shit myself.
I had those. I had those paranoid thoughts too, but I knew that I had the diet. The dieta was so good that I did not need to do that. But I hear you, Chug-a-Lug. Yeah. So at that point, I'm on the ground, face down, still sobbing, and I hear it again. Get ready for the next wave, surfer boy.
What the?
And I go, here we go again. And I'm screaming into the abyss. Just.
Dang.
And then breathing. Really bad. Oh, make it stop, please stop. And nope, no stopping. All this pain. And this is where it was like the veterans and all my military pain was coming out, and the trauma and the military. It was like this was it. This was the big, like, get this out, and it came out. I don't know all of it, but I was screaming, and that did not let up for a long time. And I was amazed. I was like, this is still happening? Fuck. Like, I just did so much of this. I'm still like, I can't cry anymore. I can't do this anymore. And I'm punching the ground again. Stop! Punching the ground. And then I'm finally I'm curled up in my ball, and I'm just waiting for it to end, and it slowly starts ending, and then I'm like, I really hope that was the last wave. And I could hear the rustling of other people, like, getting up, and they're saying, okay, there's still a couple more people, but you guys go ahead, get up the trail, and there's still people in ceremony, so just, keep it quiet. And I'm like, wow, it's gotta be just me. I've got to be the last guy left. But I hear the guy next to me screaming again. I'm like, oh, nope, I'm not alone.
Not alone.
So then I'm like feeling really guilty. Like, I'm taking way too long. Like, these guys are really putting up with me now. Like, I need to not respect them. I need to find my fucking power now. Come on, James. You're a fucking Marine. You've been through worse. Like, no, you haven't been through worse. But I was like, I've been through shit. Been through a fucking storm. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You gotta have some capacity to stand up, put your shoes on at least. So I'm like, okay, one sock, one shoe. Next sock, next shoe. Jacket, right arm jacket, left arm.
Dang. And then you froze.
Yeah.
Put it away, and then I go back into child's pose for one last wave of pain. Just, oh God. And then
He'll come back.
Then you froze again.
okay. I need to. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah,
You're
there
in
you go.
one last wave of pain.
One more wave of pain, yeah. So I get up and I start walking to the center circle, and I open my eyes and I'm seeing, like, okay, it's over. For one last.
Dang, it's starting to mess up again.
Jason burning incense, and I join them, and I stand there with the fire, and I just have my hands over my heart and my feet together, and I stand there just like a statue, and I just close my eyes, and I'm listening and holding space for this last man who is screaming, and he's saying, I just shit my pants and I don't care. And I'm like, wow, this guy's really in for it. Like, he's going.
Oh,
he's really going.
wow. Wow.
And then while I'm standing there and I have my eyes closed, I see one of the other facilitators comes over to me and just starts blowing pacho smoke all over me. And here's where I get my last visuals. All of a sudden, I see faces of Native American, like shamans of the past. These beautiful faces with masks on.
You going in and out. You going.
Old Native American headdresses on. Oh.
You going in and out.
Can you hear me yet? Can you hear me now? Can you hear
okay,
me now?
yeah. You start seeing the faces. Start from
I'm
there,
seeing these beautiful. I'm seeing the faces of these I don't know if they're my past lives or ancient spirits or the spirits. I was like, how there in front of my face, and they're going 1, 2, 3 distinct faces, like with the headdresses and the antler horns and makeup on and like a wooden mask on one of them, and they were just beautiful faces of these Native American like elders, ancient medicine men.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing them, and I'm just like, wow. Thank you. And I say my thanks, and then I open my eyes, and I'm like, it's over. I'm done. I'm good. And then we wait for the last guy to wrap it up, and then they said, okay, next group can go up the trail, and then the rest of us are gonna start heading up. What was that?
No, I'm sorry. I was turning off my Bluetooth, and it said power off.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. So I'm walking up the trail, and as I'm walking up the trail, I'm kind of alone. I'm ahead of the group, and I just wanted to have some time to myself a little bit, because I'm walking up the trail and I'm just looking at the trees and I'm looking at the mountain, and the sun came out, and I'm just like, thank God the sun came out.
Finally.
Thank you for not raining on us. Thank you, trees. Thank you, Mother Earth. And then I'm like, I gotta go pee, so I ran off and peed again. and then I sat and waited for the more people coming up the trail, and then I was like, okay, everyone's up, everyone's walking to the trail, and then I walked all the way to the campsite, and that's when I could see all the other people up there just laughing and giggling. Yay! They're all the people who were done hours ago. And they're eating watermelon and pineapple, and they got bowls of rice and soup, and they're all just going, "Oh, it's the best food ever." And I'm like, "Oh, that does sound good right now." And I'm like, I think I'll go to the car first. And so I go to my car, and I turn the heater on, and I warm myself up, put my gear away, and I'm like thinking, "Oh, it's gonna be so good to eat. I can't wait to eat." And so I get out of the car when I'm all warmed up, and I go to the table, and I'm like seeing what they got, and I pick up a plate, and I find myself grabbing just a couple pieces of watermelon, a couple pieces of cantaloupe, and a couple pieces of pineapple.
Yeah.
And I eat that, and I'm eating it, and it's so good, and it's so nice. But after a few bites, my tummy's like, oh, wait, slow down, dude. It's like, whoa.
Oh, wow.
I get a little nauseous. And I'm like, okay, that's just the food pushing the medicine down. And I'm just like, I'll just go slow. I'll just go slow. So I go back to my car, and I'm like sitting there just eating another few bites. Eating another couple bites, drinking some water. And then I'm like, well, at least I didn't shit myself. And then I have to shit. And I gotta go now. And I couldn't make it to the bathroom. I actually, like, a little bit in my pants, and I'm like, crap. So I grabbed a napkin and shoved it down my pants. And I'm like, fuck. So I go over, I had to clean myself up real quick, and then I run over to the bathroom, and the bathrooms are not bathrooms. They're a bucket inside of a little porta tent thing. They set up these little individual tents.
Yeah.
With you zip it open the door, and then inside's just a bucket. And on in the side of the bucket, it's got a little salt. They got a bag of sawdust and some toilet paper, and they put like one of those like just the toilet seat, just the toilet seat that they ripped it off a toilet, and so I gotta sit in
And
the
put
bucket
it on top of
and
the
I gotta poop,
bucket.
and I straight up just looks like chocolate milk just came right out of me.
Oh my god.
Yep, I add it to the pile of everyone else's poop, and I'm just like, wow. And I clean myself up, and then I like leave this as nicer than when I found it, So I cleaned it up, make sure I didn't leave a mess, and I was so happy. I felt so much better. I'm like, oh, thank God that's over with. And I'm like, that means I'm like, now I can go eat more because I'm like, I'm hungry. So I go back to my car and I wash up, and I get all my ceremony clothes off, and I put on new fresh clothes. And then I'm like, I'm fucking hungry. Yes. And so I go to the table and I'm excited. I'm like, get me some soup. And I get in the soup line, and the lady gives me this big scoop of Mexican Spanish orange, that rice, the Spanish rice.
Yeah.
And then pours a bunch of lentil soup. It was lentils and beans and like a couple like green beans, little tiny, I don't know what they are, just like vegetables or something. Just all vegetable, and it was soup. Such good soup. It was so good. It tasted so amazing. And then I go to the campfire, and everyone's sitting around the campfire, and I sat down next to some ladies, and they're telling me about their story, and they're talking about oh my God, I had to go to the whole time I was pooping myself, and the whole time people were just talking about their whole experiences, and I'm just sitting there listening. I'm like, this is so fun because now we're happy, it's over, and we're in the afterglow, and I'm like, yes, this is the afterglow time. Finally, some good feelings, yay! And I'm like, I'm gonna get some more soup, and I ate 3 bowls of soup.
Wow.
You starving.
So good. Yeah.
So what did anybody share a interesting experience?
Yeah. So then when everyone was done, he's like, everyone to the circle. Everyone to the campfire. Grab your blankets. Grab your blankets. Grab your water bottles. Everyone. So we go to the circle. We get around the campfire, and he's like, men, go to the forest and get more wood. And I'm just like, yes, sir. And I fucking ran into the wood and got some more wood. And we made a big fire, and everyone was so helpful. It was like awesome. Everyone was just working together, just like, yes, yes. It all snapped and clicked into place. And we all found our spots, and we just huddled in shoulder to shoulder and cozied up to everyone. And then he's like, what we're going to do now is go around, and everyone's just basically going to share. But he's like, we have 33 people. I'm going to remind you to keep it short because this is Waldo talking. He's like, because I want to go to bed. Like, I'm fucking tired. And we're all like, with the most deepest respect for him, just like, yes, sir. Yeah, okay. So they start going around talking, and everyone's just like, starts telling about their stories, about saying, oh yeah, it started with me, my emotions, and then I cried, and then I purged, and then I thought about my mother, and all these beautiful stories were happening. And people were really, really sharing their hearts and speaking about just where they were at in their journey. And it was really cool because everyone really was at different stages of their journeys. And I can almost not remember like all the details, but it was just, I remember that the sharing was beautiful, and it was so much love and gratitude. Everyone was saying thank you to all the facilitators. Thank you for holding this space. Thank you for doing what you do. And when it came back to my turn, I was just like, yeah, I cannot believe that you guys can do that. What you guys do, that was incredible. What you guys have done for us. And because when I remember the facilitators, or the way it works is you drink the ayahuasca and they throw up for you, like somehow the energy gets transmuted. So they're walking around singing, but every once in a while you'll hear them going, oh, find your heart, and you're like, whoa. Oh, it's beautiful. It's like, I'm like, oh my God. You can hear them throwing up, just like, whoa, they did it too, We were just like, thank you guys. You guys are superhumans. And I was like, And I said to them, I said, he said, they're like, what are you grateful for? And everyone's talking about what they're grateful for. And we're grateful for you guys. And then I was like, I'm grateful that there are 22 to 44 veterans every day that kill themselves. And today I am not one of them. You know,
Alright.
you guys literally saved my life. You have saved my life.
So
I
so
got
what?
what I needed.
So what was
I
the
needed that.
what has the afterglow been like? Like the afterglow, like the after
So the
effects.
afterglow is yeah, you just feel, I'm feeling so happy that it's like having accomplished such a difficult task. Like, you know, anything that you ever done, like cleaning the house, fucking, you're like, yay, the dishes are done. You just feel good, like it's done.
Yeah.
Now you know, you don't have, you're rewarded with that little time of reprieve and peace, and the work is finished. And when you've been through a long day at work and it's finally time to go home, that's just what it feels like. Same thing. Just like, wow, all right, you know, or you're playing a video game and you finally beat the final boss. You feel like, yes.
Do you
Victory is
see things
mine.
differently now? Do you look at people or see other people differently or appreciate something more than you did before or something?
Yes, I feel reborn. I feel cleansed. I feel absolutely given a second chance at life. And there was those times I can remember when I was screaming there, like talking to, oh God, I got to remember the weirdest part about it. Those feelings of guilt. This is where like the deepest part of my trip, before I forget it, to tell you guys, because I'll never forget, because it was God screaming at me, don't you forget this.
Wow.
This is all your fault. All of it. And I'm like, drinking the ayahuasca, going to the Marine Corps, like, not just that. He's like, no. Everything, every single grain of sand on this realm, every speck, every breath, everything you're touching, you guys, this phone, your entire lives. I felt like it was my fault that you're all here. And it got matrixy. It got to where it's like where you guys aren't necessarily. I'm not saying you guys aren't real, but when it's like before I came to this realm, like somehow it was telling me you asked for this.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like,
You
why?
did it to yourself. That's what they're saying. Like
It's
you
like,
did it to yourself.
it's what you needed.
Yeah.
Like what?
I would
Need
make me
what?
cry. I would have been crying my ass off
That's
if I did.
Find
I've
me
been crying.
again.
so when that
I
happened,
said, fine.
did you want to was you ready to accept
Selfishly
that?
doing for myself. Hold on, Chuckalug. Let me explain. No, I wanted to kill myself. I felt so bad and so shameful that all of this was my fault. That means they killed themselves. 9/11, when the people, the bodies jumping out of the building, all the people that died, horrific deaths, all the kids that are being blown up right now, the pedophile, the bullshit, the Satanism, the religions, the wars, everything is my fault. And it was like, yes, it's all your fault. You chose this. And I'm like, why would I choose that much suffering? And it said to me, God said to me, this is when God spoke to me and said, it's the only way you'd remember who I was. It's the only way that you would know me again, because you forgot. And I was like, I forgot God? Or I didn't know God? I thought like God, there's a God, I believe in God, but I didn't know God. And now I know God. And it was like having a meeting with God, and God was saying, don't you forget me ever again. And I was like, I promise I won't. And I'm so sorry that I asked. I can't believe, I am ashamed, and I can't believe that I asked for all of this, for this life, because it was too much pain, and I couldn't. I felt so bad that I caused all that I wanted to die. I wanted to kill myself.
It's
and
wild
I had
to.
bad thought.
That's
I said, I said, I'm going to go home and I'm not going to feel like I can go home. I don't deserve any of that. I don't deserve any of my money. I don't deserve my family. I don't deserve my son. I don't deserve anything. I felt like after this, I'm going to be one of those fucking homeless guys wandering around just with no clothes, no pant, no money, just, and whatever you give me, like, please, sir, give me, beg, just, that's all I deserve. I don't even deserve that. Please. Like, I felt like I was going to be one of those monks who just have to go wander the streets like with no belongings, no possessions. And I just had to give myself up to God and surrender. And I did. I said, if that's what it takes, God, then that's what I'm going to do. But that's all I had. That's how I felt right there at the most deepest part of the trip. So now I'm home and I'm in that afterglow and I'm feeling how quick it's all coming back to me. Like not like me lying to myself again, not my ego, but just like how quick I can go right back into my life and go, well, I guess I can accept having money and my job and my home, and I have my son, and I hope I hope I'm not forgetting, but
Yeah.
it feels weird. It feels like I gotta make sure I'm not fucking up here, because I don't ever want to feel that all again. And the Waldo, he's like, at the end of the ceremony, he stands up and he's telling everyone, don't you fucking come back. This is not a fucking resort.
Yeah.
If you have to come back, okay, but you do the work. If fucking letting you come back, this is not a get rich or get quick pill. This is not a magic pill. This is not a quick fix. You've been doing the dieta. Now the dieta continues. The work continues. The homework continues. You need to take this seriously and do the work. And if you don't fucking come back. And I was like, I get it. And I said, I don't want to ever do that again.
No, that's what I always felt like. Wow, man.
I'm starting to go.
I always felt like that. If you got to do it over and over and over, are you even learning?
You're going to call me back. There's more.
You said there's more.
Yeah. But I do understand why. Because ayahuasca is a medicine. Their levels, there's so much. There's another level. And it's
Man,
just
you turned into
to purge you with some more lessons. Then it will call me.
Everything
So,
you said.
yeah, you was
last two
fractalizing.
sentences again.
can you hear me yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could hear before you.
I understand why people get called back, because after you've been healed, after you've been cleansed, that's like phase 1. There's more work. There's more healing. There's more lessons. There's so much more that ayahuasca has. And it's like, well, if you feel called to learn more, there she is. And, but it's brutal. It was fucking brutal. And, it was 6 hours. When I got back and I looked at the clock, it was 5:30. We had started at 11:30.
Damn.
I went through 6 hours.
Yeah, that's a minute.
That was a long time. And so
Actually, it's time. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like you did 6 hours, and just 6 hours would sometimes it sounds like you went through a Great Depression and had to heal your own self, doing it by yourself naturally without taking anything, like for like a 20-30 year period into 6 hours.
well, I don't know if you heard me when I started the story. 10 years ago is when I set my intention. When I learned about ayahuasca, I said, I want to do this. And 10 years ago, went and signed up for an ayahuasca retreat where this guy was going to take us to Costa Rica. And then it got canceled. So the ayahuasca heard me, though. It said, okay, we hear you, but you're not ready yet. And the magic of the universe and the way things happen, everything had to happen to me for 10 years. All from smoking cannabis to mushrooms to LSD to ketamine to salvia. All of it was just practice. It was all.
It was
training.
like it was
all.
to set you up for that experience right there. That's exactly how my experience on ayahuasca was. It was like everything I did had set me up for that moment of doing ayahuasca in Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
And it was
100%.
like the weirdest thing.
Yeah. It all makes sense. It all clicks. It's like all the puzzle pieces are there now, and I can see the bigger picture of all that I went through to get to that point. And now I feel like, yeah, it's like I've graduated elementary school, but there's still high school, there's still college, like there's still more.
Yeah.
And so now it's been a few days. What is it? It's Monday, so Saturday, so Sunday, Monday. It's only been 2 days. In the last 2 days, I've been just eating my soup, eating fruit. I went to the gym. I've been doing my sauna and cold plunges, and I've been just decompressing. I did a little bit of journaling. Some of the things that I wrote in my journal, I did right after when I was in the car. I wrote things down, like one of the messages that I heard was "Don't you forget," and also is I used to run from the truth. Now I embrace it. That was a phrase that I clearly remember hearing. Like, I used to run from the truth, but now I embrace it. And now I'm still allowing the synchronicities and the things coming to me. Oh, and this talking to you guys, I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was all part of it. I'm glad we're doing this. I'm so happy and grateful to you.
I'm grateful for you too, but you know why I know it's something wild about what you're saying, because I didn't talk to you, and when I went live, I named the live "Do You Remember?" So I mean, that's just one of the syncs. I'm like looking at it, going, "Do you remember?" And it's like, whoa, okay, do you? Do you? Don't forget this time.
Don't forget. And I've been talking to my family. When I was driving, the first people I told the story to was my mom and my sisters. My older sister and younger sister, they were all there at my mom's house, and they were like on speakerphone. They're like, "We want to hear about your journey." And I'm like, buckle up. So I told them everything I just told you. And one of the amazing things that happened is I have a real connection with turtle spirit, like the turtle. My mom was like, ever since you were a kid, you love turtles, and then Ninja Turtles, and then turtles. You know, it's been, you're a turtle. You have a turtle spirit, really, in your whatever it is. And then my little sister goes, "James, I have to tell you, this is freaking crazy." But I was driving to my mom's house, and on the way, in the middle of the road, there was a turtle, and I had to slam on my brakes. And as I stopped, the turtle was right there by my wheel. I had to get out of my car and run out and grab and save this turtle. And she's like, I knew it was you. Like, it was you.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, but you didn't know I was in ceremony, but she knew she knew that turtle was me. And she saved the turtle and got it across the road. And I was just like crying, just like, thank you, little sis. Like, that's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Hey,
that's beautiful.
Hey, true. Wild man.
Yeah.
What's up, Eric?
Hey,
ahead,
Sonic, man, that part on Sonic, there was a turtle on the road, and Sonic picked it up. It was moving really slow. You seen that part on Sonic the Hedgehog? There was a turtle that was on the road, and Sonic picked it up.
I can't remember, but I've seen the movie. I'm sure. Yeah, that's what happened, man. My little sister, literally in real life, was driving and saw a turtle and had just pulled over and slammed on her brakes and got out and picked up the turtle and put it back in the forest, saved it. And she knew it was me.
That's deep.
And my little sister is a medicine she's a facilitator. She's been for years now. She had her own personal journey where she started taking mushrooms. And then she found this. She became part of the group where they started. It was just for women, and she started a women's circle and hosting these circles where they would do mushrooms and MDMA and ketamine and smoking NMDMT. And she had her own experiences, but she hasn't done ayahuasca yet. But she knows. And so when told me this, she said, when I told her all this, she's like, "Wow, you just cleared up so much space. you got you got room for all this new blessings
Yeah,
in the future.
exactly.
Bro,
got
you
so
sound
much
so
coming.
different. You guys sound so
Yeah.
vibrant.
I know it.
You sound. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm ready to receive the blessings, and I'm already rapidly absorbing them as they come, and I'm looking forward to what's coming up here. The next the next week itself. It just feels like there's a lot going. Oh, and right away on Facebook and Instagram, I'm reaching out and we're finding the people that I made friends with at the ceremony, and we're all connected now. Just like I got
Yeah.
more in my tribe. More people, and there's more facilitators or events happening. And there's something about there's a local group that someone just said to me. There's going to be a ceremony on the 28th with Santo Daime. I think that's a Ayahuasca. I'm like, I might do that. That might be coming up. I got my DMT in my drawer, and I'm just like feeling it. Like I wonder when I get to smoke. I wonder when I'm going to smoke that again. Like I'm just feeling weird about like I just came out of such a horrific experience, saying I never want to do that again. To almost like now, so that's it, man.
That's dope, man.
We did it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Thank
That was
you all.
amazing. That was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
And it's what you needed, but it's like weird how you said that. Like I've been in that place to where it seemed where I like everybody and everything. I was everybody and everything. Like you said, I was Hitler. I was Ronald Reagan. I was Michael Jackson. I was all the good people and I was all the bad people. But it seemed like I kept coming back here to live life with the people or something. It was like the weirdest thing, bro.
Yeah.
And that's far. That's going far. Wow, man. That's when you going stepping all the way outside the box.
Yeah. Yep.
But that was beautiful. But I gotta go, y'all. I'm acting like I ain't gotta work tomorrow.
Thank you, True.
Me too.
Thank you, Wild Man.
Yeah, thank you, Wild Man.
Thank you.
And we're gonna have to get an update on this later in the week to see how the rest of the week goes. So Saturday or something like that, we're gonna have to get an update.
Yeah, I'll bring more updates, and I feel compelled to do some artwork and stuff too. So yep, I'll be posting on Instagram and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Wild Man, Exile, Jessica, Eric B. And I'm gonna head out of here. I'm gonna holla though. Peace out.
All right.
And thank everybody for stopping in. That was a man, ayahuasca is something else. It always gets you where you need to be when you need to, wherever you going, bro. Ayahuasca is like a beautiful thing. You feel me? And thank y'all for watching, and thank y'all for being here. I see it's more people over here on TikTok and people over here on YouTube, and Instagram, and peace out to everybody. Y'all have a good one, and next time we're gonna do this again as usual. I'll be back, and hopefully you tune in or pop in because you see what kind of stuff be happening here. It's always, these stories of these experiences a lot of us is having, which I feel like these experiences, it kind of help us. It kind of help us to learn to better ourselves, because you start to see that a lot of things that's bothering a person over there is like, a lot of us is going through that same thing. And you don't even have to, dive into the psychedelic, ventures in order to see it and understand it. and be able to change yourself in the ways, you know, the psychedelics help people change. Because just by seeing the story and understanding the story and seeing what they going through, that's something that you can do yourself, like, you know, like through meditation or through so many different other ways. So, you know, I think that's the beauty of it. So I hope y'all learning from this, because I'm always learning from, like, most of y'all out there that just be popping in, and, you know, we be sharing stories, just talking. You know, it's like not trying to be a teacher, but trying to, you know, I'm learning as I'm sharing myself or sharing my experiences, and it's a beautiful thing, man. So I thank to everybody for being here, especially the ones that's been here. You know, knowing we've been doing this for like 6 years now. Thank y'all for staying around all this time. It's been a long time, and we gonna keep it going. And with that being said, I'm out of here.